The Madman! Welcome to the Ashes of Outland top 10 list. Note that for this list, I specifically took precisely 5 Demon Hunter cards and 5 non-Demon Hunter cards to put in the top 10. Now you might think that is a lot of Demon Hunter cards, but I had a higher percentage of Demon Hunter cards than non-Demon Hunter cards that I wanted to put on the top 10, just to let you know. So let's start with number 10. Imprisoned Gnarg, the best one-drop you can play in the entire history of Hearthstone, other than pre-nerf Undertaker. Pay 1 mana, get a Fiery War Axe 2 turns later, and get a 2/2 with it. That's just absolutely insane. You put it in Highlander Warrior, you put it in Tempo Warrior, you put it in Galakrond Warrior, you put it in Control Warrior? It's less good when you play it not on turn 1, but still good, I would say. Number 9. Maiev Shadow Song. Throughout this whole expansion reveal, I've been saying, overrated, but you know what? Maybe not overrated. I have come around to thinking, okay, maybe I do put it in my Control-y Highlander decks, because I have thought about putting Earthen Ring Farseer into my deck, and would I pay 1 more mana to possibly prevent a lot more than just 3 damage to myself through freezing something for 2 turns? You might even be able to do better than freeze because you temporarily get rid of the taunt. There's even some fringe scenarios where you might want to play Maiev on your own imprisoned guy in order to get a second dose of the imprisoned guy. Number 8. Scavengers Ingenuity / Zixor Apex Predator. The reason why I've lumped these two together is because I think Scavengers Ingenuity is good precisely because it fetches Zixor Apex Predator. Fetching Zixor Prime with Scavengers Ingenuity is just so powerful. On turn 8, if you've set up that line of plays where you've played Zixor Apex Predator and it's died, and then you've played Scavengers Ingenuity afterwards, you could be playing a turn 8 for 7/7s with Rush. And I don't think that's a meme. I think that's a realistic dream. You could also use Scavengers Ingenuity to get one of your best cards in your deck, Face Stalker, out and play pretty fast. Number 7. Babble Fiend is just simply how you want to begin every single Demon Hunter game. It begins a really strong curve that is available to the Demon Hunter. It's a 2/2 that keeps growing, and it keeps growing off of the use of your 1 mana hero power, which is really flexible to weave in. Of course, you're going to see it in every single Demon Hunter deck. Number 6. Priestess of Fury, I would think, is actually better than Ragnaros. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. She's got 7 health, she comes out 1 turn earlier than Ragnaros, and I like the repeatable 6 damage split among enemies over Ragnaros' 1 shot. If you're playing Demon Hunter, make sure to play around turn 7 Priestess of Fury, and expect that play. Number 5. It's Hand of Adal. If you thought Power Word Shield was strong, what if you added 2 stats to it for 1 more mana? Hand of Adal is just one of those really solid cards which single-handedly increases the entire win rate of a class by existing. And the only reason why this isn't higher is because I think the rest of Paladin, maybe not as good, but I think Hand of Adal is so good that it can carry this Paladin class, well, alongside the help of all the Librams, into being a competitive deck. Number 4. I-Beam. Did you think Backstab was a good card? I did. And then I-Beam comes around and deals 3 damage instead of 2, and also restores 3 health. Obviously the goal is to cast this for 0 mana, and the incredible amount of tempo you get while regaining some of that very important health makes I-Beam an indispensable card in the Demon Hunter lineup. Number 3. Umberwing. This, by the way, is the turn 2 follow-up to Babble Fiend, and I do expect to see Umberwing in every single Demon Hunter deck. It's just so efficient. So many of the Demon Hunter good cards key off of attacking, which Umberwing does. I think the card doesn't appear too impressive at first glance, but just believe me that I think that Umberwing will have the highest win rate when in your hand in Demon Hunter. Number 2! It's Imprisoned Scrap Imp. You may or may not know that I have an obsession with this Shadow Council deck. Just play Imprisoned Scrap Imp, and then you have a little bit of time to get a big hand through the Warlock ability to tap, and then you just win the game when the Dormant comes up, because then you've embiggened your full hand and then you don't have to pay the 1 mana. The card is so good that they had to remove Mountain Giant from the meta by Hall of Faming it. I have no doubt that it was because of Imprisoned Scrap Imp. Even though Zoo is a pretty low mana cost deck, I think Imprisoned Scrap Imp is so good that you actually just put it in that deck, you do play it on turn 2, you alter your Zoo play a little bit on turn 3, maybe you tap instead, you temporarily become a little bit of a handlock, and then on turn 4 you unleash the demons. But where I think the real power is if you play it in some sort of handlock version, maybe it's Galakrond, maybe it's control without Galakrond, maybe even just Highlander? Yeah, as long as you hit a decent number of minions in your hand, Imprisoned Scrap Imp is absolutely insane. And that brings us to the honorable mentions! Magtheridon! Now, I know what you're thinking here because I do keep up with public opinion of cards. Magtheridon has appeared on a number of people's opinion on the worst legendary of the set. So, very spicy choice. If you're able to just do a measly 3 damage to all minions, you clear everything, which is a dream for Warlocks. And not only that, you don't just clear everything, you get a 12-12. I actually think it's very legitimate to just play Magtheridon on turn 4. You're representing that you can play Crazed Netherwing next turn and then clear the entire board. And what if the opponent decides to slow down? Then that's great, they're only hitting you for 3 with the 1/3s they summon. Don't sleep on Magtheridon, otherwise it's gonna awaken and then kill the whole board. For Demon Hunter, honorable mention is Twin Slice. Twin Slice is a card that doesn't necessarily look too impressive on first glance, but Twin Slice is there for the backup for the games that you don't draw Umberwing effectively, because it turns out that you really want to play those cards which say, if your hero attacked this turn. So you Twin Slice and then you play those cards alongside Twin Slice. But also it can combo with Altruist, also it can shove cards to the left side of your hand because it costs 0. Also, it combos with your weapons with effects like Lifesteal or cleaving effects on your weapons. Twin Slice is just better than sliced bread. And finally, at number 1, it's Skull of Gul'dan. I don't think it's that much of an understatement to call Skull of Gul'dan negative mana, draw 3 cards. That's how insane that card is. Skull of Gul'dan is so good that you might even play it the turn you draw it, when you still have other cards to play because you want the discount so much, and then you might even have mana to play those discounted cards. You will see this card in every single version of Demon Hunter. I think you will even see this card in Face Demon Hunter, whose curve is so low that you won't get a discount of 3 on all the cards. However, as a Face Hunter, you're able to really wipe out your hand really fast, so Skull of Gul'dan will be the left card in your hand. So there you have my top 10 for Ashes of Outland. I hope you enjoyed the Magtheridon spice. Just you wait and see. I'm gonna make Magtheridon great. I'm gonna make the Demon Hunters cry.